Hello everybody, welcome back to another contrast paint video, and today we have for you a Wraithguard that's going to use the contrast paint I've been waiting long enough for. Most of it's going to be done in Iyanden Yellow, which we've seen in little bits on models previously, but never with it being the central colour. So it's going to be interesting to see how it applies to the, I guess it's the numerous rounded parts of the Wraithguard. But the other colour we're waiting to try, or I've been waiting to try, you'd think this had gold encrusted paint pigments in it with how hard it was to get this. Thalasar Blue, the rarest of all the blue contrasts for whatever reason. It took a month, a literal month, for me to get a pot of this. Is it even going to be worth it in the end? I hope so. I hope it applies better than the Ultramarines Blue, which doesn't apply too well. So most of this is going to be done in the Iyanden Yellow. The gun is going to be done in Black Templar. But then the Thalasar Blue is going to be on the, like this bit here, the bulbous head, and also the pauldrons on the sides. Going to start with the yellow first though, because it's basically going to be a big thick coating of the Iyanden Yellow. We'll let that settle, then do some touch-ups before the gun gets coated. Oh, as always, based in Grey Seer. So without further ado, let's get started and work our way up to finally seeing the rarest of contrast paints in action. So after a little bit of drying time, here's how the Iyanden Yellow is looking so far. I probably should have mentioned, but it should be obvious given that it's in the name of the contrast paint, but this is obviously being painted like the Iyanden Craft World, hence the Iyanden Yellow being the key colour. Still got some drying to do, and then I'm going to have to use just the Grey Seer base pot over here just to touch up the areas that are then going to receive the Thalasar Blue. Shoulder pad, and a little bit on the back of the helmet there as well, just a little bit of mess to clean up. That's just got to go over them with that, and it's sorted. And similar to Space Marine armor, there's kind of like little ridges in the joints there, and the vents there, and the back of the legs as well. I think I'm probably going to give them a very, very light spattering of the contrast black Templar. But I'm not going to go over them with the Grey Seer because I kind of want them to have a little bit of the yellow shading. I'm just going to test how that looks. I'll decide whether or not to change it once it's dried. But anyway, this is going to have to sit for a little while longer because it's a pretty wet paint, the Iyanden contrast. And then we'll do the Thalasar Blue first, and we'll probably do the Black Templar at the same time. Maybe not the bits on the yellow parts if it still needs to do even more drying, but at the very least the gun for sure. So let's get on with that. So here's the blue and the black Templar on the gun applied. Still got drying to do as always, but as far as going for the Iyanden Craft World look, I would say this is getting there for sure. The Thalasar blue is a little splotchy on the flat head, which is kind of to be expected because it is just a long flat shaped shoulder pads, and the little tassel thing at the bottom, it's got more definition. We're not quite done yet, but that is probably going to do it for contrast paint. We've still got to finish the base just to finish the look, give it time to dry as well because the colours might settle a bit better, so we'll be back in a quick second to see how it turned out proper. And so quite a little bit of time later, here we are with the finished Wraithguard. It was mostly the base that took a while, incidentally. Just the paint that I used on the base takes a long time to set, more so than the contrast paint, and the contrast paint was done a while ago. But I think it came out okay. It's definitely a quick way to paint up an Iyanden army because they're all, well, 90% Wraith constructs. Let's just spin it around here to have a little look. And while I was waiting for this one to dry for filming the various sections, I was actually doing two more at the same time. Their bases are even more not quite done yet, but we just zoom out a little bit. Hopefully it will find a sweet spot to focus if I put the other one down as well. This one's in shade a little bit, I apologise, but the sun shines in behind me and the camera itself is like right here, so you're seeing the shade of the camera lens itself on any model that's on the left there. I had someone ask why one appeared to be darker. It's purely the lens just casting an extra shadow. I guess if I could move them back a little bit here, you see that like they are the same. It's just the limited space plus where the sun is shining from on this very hot summer's day. So that is 3 done very, very quick, very easy. The bases on these two not particularly quite dry yet. It needs to sink a little bit more, I think. But obviously it's up to you to decide for yourself whether you like the look. What I will say though is I made a basic mistake with the order in which I did things. Started with the Iyanden yellow before doing the Thalasar in the black. Should definitely do the Thalasar blue first and the Black Templar black. Why? Because if you make any mistakes, it's a lot easier to correct light colour mistakes than it is dark. So for any of these I'm doing in the future, I'll be doing the yellow last, because that is a lot easier to correct any mistakes, any spillage, any seeping, and also prior to that it's easier to clean up just using the grey sear pot paint to tidy up for the yellow. And as you're doing it, if the yellow is wet and it's on top of the black or the blue, it's very easy to just dry your brush, or put a little bit of water on your brush and just dab off the Iyanden yellow. So I did it in the wrong order. I think doing it in the opposite order is basically the better idea, but you just zoom in on the one that was actually used for the video. That's how it came out. There will be more Iyanden Eldar models, Wraith constructs, in the future that we'll be tackling, as well as some of the characters, Farseers, Spirit Seers, etc. As far as Thalasar blue goes, obviously on a smooth surface it does get that kind of blotchy effect. I like it better than the Ultramarines blue in terms of just the normal finish it gets, unlike the bulbous bits. And in general, I think tabletop, so you're not actually looking at it this close, you'd be further away. I think it creates a smooth enough image from that kind of distance. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the future for more videos. Subscribe if you want to know when they go live, that is. Thank you, and ta-ta for now.